And good morning to everyone. It is Friday. The end of the week has arrived, and I hope you're doing good. As we start this day out, cold outside. It is 35 with a wind chill this morning of 27. Chilly, 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 no matter where you are. Welcome. We've got several things going on today. Candace will be joining me in just a little over an hour and a half from now as we'll begin this Friday. As you wake up, if you're coming into the city limits of Meridian, I'm told by passerbyers there is a Jeep that is out in the medium near exit 150. Meridian Police Department is on scene. I'm sure a wrecker is en route to pull that out. So there could be some delays there in the area of exit 150. And if you go 150, what are you talking about? I don't know exactly where that is. Let me show you that here where you can get a closer look at what we're talking about. Here's the exit here where Waters International is. You're coming in from over this way from Hickory, any of these areas east into town. And this will be your last exit leaving town as you're headed toward the Newton area. That's where it's going to be right there in the medium. So could be a small delay as you wake up if you're going through there. So keep that in mind this morning. Lots to talk about this morning as we begin our Friday and the weekend. We found out late last night that Lilrodrick Smith, do you remember who I'm talking about? Charges have been upgraded. As we pull this up where you can see, this is the gentleman a few days ago that shot the young man near Meridian High School. Multiple times. It wasn't once or twice, but we learned last night that Lilrodrick Smith, who is 19 years old, who was taken into custody for the shooting, have been upgraded. His charges have. So he's got some issues there as we look back at what the new charge is going to be. Judge Markham agreed that this should be a attempted murder. His bond now has been increased to $850,000. And whereas initial bond was set at $250,000, so it's upped a lot to $850,000 for the shooting that happened near Meridian High School. That was an attempted murder. I don't care how you slice that or what you say about it. That was definitely. We were very fortunate to have missed the wintry mix. We'll get into all the weather this morning, let you know what to expect today, tonight, tomorrow, and talk about the weather that came through that eventually went on and produced a tornado that took a life not far from here in Eutaw, Alabama, just the east of Eutaw. Sawyerville, Alabama is where that actually happened. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We asked for prayers this morning. Are you familiar with this? Let me show you this picture here as we pull up this. This is Colin McCoy. You've seen the pictures, and we'll look at them in a moment. He is the young man that was in his house, minding his own business, playing on his computer video game, how you want to word it, when a car ran through his house, struck him. I spoke to his grandfather several times by text last night. Several surgeries today. They're hoping to reconnect his colon today. He's going to be rolled into surgery early this morning. One thing that is going on is they do not have insurance. The person that ran into the house did not have car insurance. So a GoFundMe fund has been set up. If you'd like to donate to that, it's right here on my Facebook page, and all you have to do is click here, and it will take you to the link if you're interested in helping this young man in any way. And if you don't like using GoFundMe, contact me. I can get you in direct contact with the family if you'd rather do it that way. Put it in an envelope and give it to them, however you want to do that. But they do need your help. There's nothing worse than minding your own business and somebody running through your house. And as we all know, insurance is extremely expensive. It's almost hard to even pay for. I've been there. And the older you get, the worse it gets. Let me just warn you all about all of that. But that's what happened. And as we look at this, you go, well, what really happened? This is the first I've heard of it. Let me show you the pictures. This is the car that the suspect was driving right here. Right through the house. That's sitting in his bedroom. He was found in the backyard. That's where he drove through the front of the house, straight through it, went through one bedroom, and then out the back of the home. That's his bond, Jeremy Henry. And as we look at that, that's the fellow that was driving the car that ran from police, lost control of his car and ran through that house and hurt that little fella. So this was Philadelphia, Mississippi is where all of this happened. I didn't say that at the beginning of it if you were just tuning in and trying to figure out what I was talking about. But Line Street, turn left off of the main drag there that'll take you to Line Street, and he just kept right on going through somebody's house. Sad, sad, sad. As we wake up, I did get told of a few gunshots last night in the Meridian area. 13th Avenue, 13th and 14th Street, shots were heard. We don't know of anybody being hurt, but we did hear them in the air. Also, Poplar Springs Drive and 26th Avenue last night. Gunshots was heard last night as well. To our knowledge, no one was hurt. Thank goodness. How's everybody feeling there? Reed Packer says she's got 32 degrees and a wind chill of 25 there in Decatur. We said it's cool here, 35 Meridian. Y'all are a little bit cooler than Meridian. You're right on the freezing degree mark there. Now, as I mentioned also, as I told you the day before, I thought that it was a good chance of tornadoes breaking out in that area. And it did. It just waited after it got over Meridian. It was the same system that rolled right through here where you were out and about yesterday. You felt that heavy, heavy rain. You saw it. A bunch of flooding there. And this went right on past us into Alabama. I went over Livingston, and the further it got, the worse it got. And let me just show you a little clip here. Let's pull this up here where you can see this. This is the tornado damage after it got over here into the edge of Alabama. Let me turn that on where that'll move. This is an aerial vision of the damage that happened here. This is Sawyerville, Alabama. This is Hale County is where this is. If you go up I-20 or Tuscaloosa, this is going to be right. You take a right at Utah and go some few miles, 20, 30 miles like that. These are the homes that were destroyed yesterday. Lives gone. There is one life that was lost. So sad to know. And I just got the pictures of where that happened, and it turns out it was a mobile home that was struck. It had 4 people in it. It picked it up and threw it across the road. There's absolutely nothing left of it. 3 were injured and 1 person perished in that. But tornadoes are dangerous. You know, as you look at these pictures, you see where all those nails are. This is why I always say that of wear boots and things like that, because nails and things are everywhere. These things strike quick. And we always want you to be as safe as you can. But that's an overview there of what happened there in that county yesterday. We feel for all of those that the damage is nowhere from us. It could have been here. Fortunately, it didn't decide to pick us. We were very fortunate also on the rain, that none of that, the temperatures got too low for us. All that got out of the way. We didn't get any ice or anything like that in our area, as others did. North Mississippi got a little bit, but it looks like all the roads are pretty good. We stayed above temperatures, and this thing went just a little bit north than what everybody thought it would. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast in a moment so you can plan your day. But keep this in mind that before we get to the full forecast, as if you're walking out the door, a jacket and another jacket. It's only going to get to 44 today. A warm, warm day. We take that back, a cold, cold day. I had the thought of keeping warm in my head there. That's a few things that went on through the area yesterday. Also, numerous wrecks throughout it. We'll also, at 8 o'clock this morning, get into wrecks that happened here, the 18-wheeler that went down. I want to show this. I'm not going to show much of this. This is, to some, I'm sure would call this graphic. It's been edited, but I want you to show you just how being careful when it's rainy weather is why I'm going to pull this up. Rainy weather is very dangerous. Here, let me turn this volume down where you'll be able to hear this, see it just a little bit better where we can talk on this. But this is what happened, and I don't know the circumstances of what caused the wreck, but this was in Shibuda. I get this from Clark County Hot Topics as they were down there, where a vehicle, painting the picture before you get to this, runs underneath the back of an 18-wheeler. The 18-wheeler was turning into a parking lot, and the car came up behind him and rear-ended him. The young man was rushed to the hospital. It was driving the car, I think in critical condition. But I want to show you just how bad wrecks, how quickly they can happen, and what they look like. Now, we won't focus on this a long time because it was a horrible wreck. This is a car. This is the 18-wheeler. See that? That's about the last report that I got. Didn't have to do a lot of major surgery. As well as look at that. How quickly the car can be story about this road. It took several hours, 30 minutes for them getting out of the part of the jaws of life. So we think about that family also. And I say all of that for you to be extremely careful wherever you go. We wouldn't want that to happen to you. I'll talk with David Sharp here in just a little bit, also from Clark County, to find out how the search as it continues for this young lady that is missing in Clark County. 76-year-old went out for a drive. Her car was left in the middle of the road, and she has not been found. We'll see what they have come up with. I know they had drones up in the air yesterday. Ooh, scary, scary, scary. So what's going on across the state of Mississippi as we look at headlines? Ambulance service. This is getting scary. This is being talked about more and more because of people not wanting to go to work. But the ambulance service in the state of Mississippi is getting near collapsed. They can't get people to be a professional, as they say, lack of large paying job, and people just don't want to work. We see this in everything. Nurses quit. They make a lot more than the guys that drive the ambulances. They just can't find people to drive them. And what does that mean? On the rural route, they wouldn't have anybody to come and get you. They're scared of this. It's a lot of people not getting back into this. Need drivers. What will happen? It's a big concern. Is this something that later on will turn into a government job, be mandated? We certainly don't want that. The private sector has always done a lot better job of getting people to where they need to go. We'll watch it. That's a scary thing to know that if you call an ambulance, it couldn't get to you. So what's going to happen with the new marijuana law that goes in effect? As we look at this, it took Tate 15 months after Mississippians voted on it. He did sign it finally. You'll start seeing these growing shops pop up to meet the demand for again, this is medical marijuana throughout the state. I don't know much about this, but I have read in several cases to where it says that if you're on medical marijuana, you can't purchase firearms or ammo. Now, whether or not they're actually holding you to that, I don't know. Probably not, but it's written in a law somewhere. Something to keep in the back of your mind there. But Mississippians voted on that 15 months ago, and it finally made it back through there. Why did we vote anyway? A lot of people are asking that questions. Quietly, let me see where this was. I lost my place. Anybody ever done that? Over at the Capitol in Jackson, a former governor's statue has come up missing. No one even noticed it. It's been gone a month. Yeah, who was it? Well, his name was Theodore Bilbo, a little short fella that was governor from 1916 to 1920. He's one of the guys that done away with public hanging. They've traced back and said that he was racist and have removed his statue from the Capitol. It's gone. A little short fella at 5'2". They say he wore bright clothing so you would see him. Always spoke loud and wanted to be seen. He was governor twice in Mississippi, 1928, also to 1932. He was there during the Great Depression for our state. But you won't find his statue there. It's gone. It's missing. Will this lead to other things? Possible. They didn't tell you about that. They'll do more and say it was for the best of you not to know about it. Also, a George County man in Mississippi has been accused of killing his 80-year-old father. Who would want to do that? That's just, I'll get off my soapbox before I get stirred up on that. That's one of the news stories that's happening across there. Also, if you have Amazon, anybody have the Amazon Prime? Y'all have that? Yeah, expect that it comes up in March, I think is when your renewal fee happens, and it's going to be going up, let's see, I think about from $119 to $139. Going to hit you with about a few more bucks there. They're trying to make that money back there for that free shipping that you get with the Amazon Prime. So just keep that in mind. That's a few of the stories that are happening in our state locally there. And a lot of people still want to know about this Whoopi thing where they got rid of Roseanne Barr. Why didn't they get rid of Whoopi? She's on suspension for 2 weeks. Those are thoughts. We'll see how that goes. More coming up. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back and tell you all about the weather that is on the way, what to expect today over the weekend. And, be close. We'll tell you more about that right now. 40-35 as you're waking up. We'll be right back.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
So let's start out by going on to radar and letting you take a look at what it looks across the nation today as we pull this up. Here's what we've got. A lot of rain moving up the east, a lot of snow up there. That's that huge storm Landon that rolled through it. Fortunately, we didn't get any of. It could have been critical for us. North Mississippi didn't get near what they thought they would either. That's good. It went north instead of south. As we zoom in on this, you go, well, what are all these blue dots? Well, that's where we had some form of damage yesterday. Those are storm reports. This morning, we're showing that we've got showers through New Orleans, through Gulfport, Mobile, and also due south of us. This is going to be Wayne County. And if you'll notice this, we got several little reports there yesterday. As we look at that there, thunderstorm wind damage, report of a tree snapped off at the residence in Denham. Means it done a little damage there. Now, as we move out of Lauderdale County, and this is, if you'll remember, all that heavy rain that drifted right through here, and it was where you couldn't see, as we all saw those pictures, and we'll share those this morning at 8 o'clock of down at the shopping center there in front of Chick-fil-A by Nukes. All of that was Crossroads. I couldn't think of it. All of that was underwater so much water fell yesterday. We'll show the pictures of that at 8 a.m. Join us so you can see that. But as we come across here, and this just steadily got worse, once it got to the Bama state line, the intensity picked up on this. Let's look at this. Right here, as we moved over into the edge of Alabama, before we got to York, we had trees down across County Road 5 and Campbell Street. It said possible tornado. It had not quite made it there. They'll go out and scan that and make sure. They had some thunderstorm damage. There were trees down. Had a little bit more right here on the outskirts of Livingston, Alabama, a tree across the road. Here's where it went full-blown after it built. It got a little calmer through there, and then it got right up in here and started building again. And this is where the tornado struck yesterday. Here's Utah, Alabama. That's where the dogs, the track used to be. It will be just due east of there. Right here, a home was struck. It messed up the roof. Right here is where we had the fatality yesterday. Significant damage. County Road 30 in Sawyerville Community. 1 fatality, 3 critical injuries, and 5 minor injuries. So I think if I remember right, and I got the picture, we'll share that this morning also. It was a mobile home that was struck in that tornado. Huge, double wide. There is nothing but toothpicks left of that. It picked it up, moved it 40, 50 feet across the road, and dumped it. And again, it's scary. And so when we go live with these and we start talking about get to your safe place, and I've always said, if you live in a mobile home, seek shelter elsewhere. Make sure that you've got a shelter to go to. And the Precast Group here, Meridian, sells those. If you don't have one, and they are very affordable. Peace of mind and a place to go to keep you safe. Keep you safe there. Talk to them, because we're getting ready to move into a more tornadic season. As y'all know how this, every spring, how it gets, that's right around the corner. We're going to see more and more of this. We want you to be absolutely safe. But that's where the tornado went down and done the damage yesterday. A lot of trees and this, that, and the others. We had due north of Montgomery. I'm looking at another one here as we pull this up right there. Here's Montgomery, Alabama. Another one struck right there, all across there. As we go into North Mississippi, we're not getting any reports of anything bad here. We do have a few reports over here on this side of a little bit of icing that happened there. But these areas didn't get it as bad as it could have. If you'll look at this, up through here is where the major ice and storm cut across. Evansville, Indiana, still snow this morning. Louisville, Kentucky, all the horses up there in Kentucky are standing in pastures with snow this morning. Charleston, West Virginia, these hills have it. Also Canton, Ohio, Youngstown, all in there. Y'all have got your share. In Buffalo, New York, as we look there, sitting at 16 degrees, and you know the snow is sticking at 16 degrees. That's about cold there. What is this up here? Syracuse, New York, as we get there, it's going to be 18 degrees in that neighborhood today. as you look at all of that where it come across. Let's just check up here with our friends that live in the very cold weather. Negative 15 there in Knox, North Dakota today. Are you near them? Let's hope not. Whew. All right, let's close that and just come on over here. Negative 15 there. Minnesota, we hadn't checked on them in a while. Negative 8, a heat wave for those folks. And just to be curious, let's see. Tonight it's going to be, they're going to reach all of 3 degrees today. Have y'all ever seen a forecast like that? 3. Tonight it'll be on negative 15, and they'll even make it up to 20 tomorrow. All righty, enough of that. Minnesota is not the place to be, is it? Montana, just curious this morning. Oh, they're at 0 there. And, whoa, and why not? Let's just see what their forecast is. Better for them. They're into the 40s. But remember, Minnesota, North Dakota, not exactly where you want to go hang out and take your vacation. As we look at the rest of the nation, we do have showers, as always, over there in Seattle. We've got some cooler weather going on right here in the state of Texas. They've got a wind chill advisory out. So if you've got any family members that are working out there in West Texas, wind chills. What's happening there? That's a quick, brief look across the nation of what's happening there. So now let's turn and get more focused on what's happening locally so that you'll know how to plan your day and what's going on in your world. As we go back, we pull this up from the National Weather Service. It tells us in the Meridian area, 1957 was our record high. It was 80 degrees on this day, a warm one for us. As we move to 1996, I bought a new truck that year. I remember it well. 8 degrees that day, 1996, 8 degrees. Wow, what a cold day that was. Wasn't really all that long ago. Okay, maybe it was. I just try to keep it in my head that it wasn't. What's going to happen today? We got a few showers here that are lingering off. As radar showed, they're already moved out of the Meridian area. But we'll get 44 for that high. Again, wind chills will be chilly today. Right now, as you're waking up, as you stick that finger out that door, 35, wind chill of 27. As we come up and we look at the state of Alabama, showers moving as we see down in the Auburn area right now as we looked at that. We'll get 43 in Tuscaloosa today, 43 over Demopolis, and probably we'll reach that 44 there in Livingston, Alabama, and all of Highway 17 through those areas. So be careful if you're going to be in those neighborhoods. As we move on up, freezing rain still predicted there. That's going to end by 8 a.m., and it's really moved out of there. But I thought I would still show that of what the National Weather Service from Alabama was showing us. As we move forward, this is what is expected over the next 6 to 10 days. Still cooler weather for us. We're not as bad as it could be, but we are cooler, above average here. Some of those areas, when they say above average, it's finally reached 0. All right, let's look at our 7-day forecast and tell you what to expect today. What is going to happen as we look at that forecast again? Today, 44 for the high across the place. A gust as high as 20 miles an hour. So that's where that wind chill is going to really hurt. 44, but wind blowing, it's cutting, and it gusts up to 20. Down to 25 tonight, a cold weather night for us. Make sure that you got your gas logs and your pets and all are taken care of. And maybe if you use the real firewood, you've already got some dried and split. Bring it on up to the house. Not much different tomorrow. 48 for a high, 4 degrees warmer. Still down to 25 tomorrow night. As we get to Sunday and head off to church, 55 will be that high. A little bit better there, but still down to freezing on Sunday night. We'll get 55 on Monday, below freezing on Monday night, and we'll fare off into the mid-50s. And by the end of the week, it looks like we'll get to about 60. Now, let's, while we're on the subject of this, go on right on in to another week into February here and see what happens all the way to the 18th there. 60s, a few of those, down to the nighttime lows of mid-30s. When will winter strike? This takes us by surprise. We'll watch all of that. That's a quick look of what we've got this morning. We're going to go deeper into a lot of this coming up at 8 a.m. I hope you'll join us and come back and find out what's going on in your parts of the community. And I've said this so many times, we can't do it without you. When you see something, let us know, inbox us, pass it along so we can tell others of what's going on in and around the area there. See here. Yep, I've got most of the big news there out so that you'll know about it as you begin your day. As we look at, let's see here, what else here? Yeah, we'll talk about the CNN thing as they've gotten rid of the president of CNN. Ratings are tanked. It's a big mess there. It's Como leaves, and he's trying to drag everybody else down with him. We got all of that and the big stories of what's going on across the nation from overnight. Make sure to tune back in. Again, we'll do this at 8 o'clock this morning, going live as Candace will come join us. I hope you're doing well there. And let me say a few good mornings. I hadn't had a chance to do that. Sylvia Stewart, how are you? Flora Overstreet. Ann Murphy is up watching us. I do appreciate that, along with Gilbert Gaddis, Linda Accord, Jennifer Gilbert, I see you there. Sherby Gully, praying in Kipper County there. Miss Gail Gafford says 33 this morning, downtown Porterville, just west of 45 there. So Jeff Cleveland joins us. Morning from the Preston Pit Stop. How are y'all doing up there? Also, Orena Bonner, glad to see you. Linda Culpepper is up. Reggie McKee in DeKalb. Roy Ellis joins us there. Jim Meyer watching today from Divers Care. Glad you're there, Jim. Hadn't talked to you in a while. See Miss Joyce Godwin. How are you there? In Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Terry Carter is up. Preston, Mississippi is where she calls home. Lamar Embry. Also, Lauren Scott is up. And you're right, families have to get involved. Praying for all those involved there. Lauren Scott, good morning to you. LaWanda Grantham, Donna Roseman, also Sandy Cass, Mike Dallas, Tom Sykes. He's probably working on a big sermon for Sunday. Hope it's a good one there. We all need to be led sometimes, don't we, Tom? Hope you will there. Jory Robinson, join him. He does that online also there. Pat Jim Coker up at Hickory is up today. Let's see. Happy Friday from Decatur. Bree Packer there. Also Joyce Gressett. And Janice Bounds joins us there. A few other people. Angela Dunnigan, Diana Hill, Barbara and Glenn Smith. How are y'all? Lisa, and I want to say I'm pronouncing this right. You tell me if I'm close. Lisa Camera. Did I get close? I'm horrible at anything that isn't Smith or Fred. I'm working on it, though. Thank you for joining us. I apologize if I didn't say that correctly there. But I'd love to have you back. Again, we're going live in just a tad over an hour. Can't do it without you. We'd love to see you. It all begins at 8 a.m. We'll go live right here on all these platforms from Facebook to YouTube, Twitter. All those will carry us live, as well as MeTV and Meridian. All about this. Come be a part. We'll tell you something that you don't know that you can't find anywhere else. It all happens right here at the Scotty Ray Report as Candace will join us for the morning show. See you soon. Again, cold, 35, wind chill of 27 right now.
Scotty Ray's weather is brought to you by